So everything is growing. The brain is growing, computer technology is growing, and the universe is growing.
Everything is expanding.
Everything is expanding.
Yeah.
You run astrology from the Gikuyu point of view because from the personality to the star, there is a spirit. So we breathe, a star has no power. Is empowered by the spirit.
By our spirit?
By our forefather spirit, dead people.
Our ancestors.
Ancestors.
So going back to the connection between Egypt and Mount Kenya, we see, if we look today at Egypt, we see different anomalies like the pyramids, different temples, things that we cannot even construct today. How were they constructed back then?
Well, sometimes we have been making one great mistake by assuming that the pyramids were constructed using some of these machineries and machines and science. No, not very much, because of picking and lifting heavy weights. They were using the power of brain. Brain is very powerful. One's brain is very powerful. It is so powerful that it can lift any weight. And the same brain can even demolish a very big building, because it is a potential energy in the brain. But unfortunately, not everybody, not everyone, each and everyone is supposed to know how to use the brain for such heavy tasks. Man's brain can lift very heavy things. It is directed to a certain level of energy, like creating a very sharp sound, or is it something like whistle? You whistle. When that is done, it becomes focused. You focus the brain, and after the brain is focused, then it produces force, either to push or to pull. Otherwise, when you come to brain, otherwise when you come to pyramid, you can't say it was mechanically built. We talked of magic, and magic gave way to physics. Still, it is the same magic that constructed the pyramid. It is only today, physically, we don't know how it was constructed, because that answer is lacking, because it was constructed within magic. But what is known to us is that the pyramid builders used to make some songs of a kind, or whistle. When they whistle, they bring the energy together. And that energy could create things to move from point A to point B.
Without being touched.
Without being touched. There are other energy in other dimension. There are other energy in other dimension. But in order to know how the pyramid was built, we have to wait. It's not our answer now. We have to wait for humanity to reach the stars. So it is too early to know how pyramids were made. We have to wait the brain to create more convolutions or to open, because we don't know, because the brain is already concealed. When it is open, then you will be able to know how the pyramid was made, and you will be able to reach the star. Because to reach the star, stars were not made, God did not make stars to be visited by rockets and hydrocarbon, machines. God simply made stars for man to move. You just feel like moving to the star, you move to the star.
Without burning any fuel?
Without burning any fuel. Yeah. No, you don't need to burn. It's only there's in your brain, there is an area that you will have to open. Mm-hmm. That you feel you want to go to the star, you go to the star. Rockets are what you call technological, but still the brain is advancing. Mm-hmm. It is still growing. It's still growing. It will grow where you feel like, I want to reach the star. It will just touch the eye.
And you'll be there.
And you'll be there.
So not physically, but with your energy, with your vision.
But God had no physics in mind when He created the sun and the stars. It's only you feel that you are there, and you are there. Mm-hmm. Because of the power of the brain, of the power of mind.
So that's like, in a way, maybe separating our consciousness from the physical body to go to other places?
Oh, that one is there, but it will be physical. It's you as a person who move.
Actually, your physical body actually will move.
Physical body moves. Not the spiritual. We move. Mm-hmm. In the spiritual form, you move. People it's from long. People started visiting stars.
With the physical body?
Not physical body.
Okay, just
spirit.
The spirit.
We move. That's what we call, when we talk about levitation and all that. I know. I've seen seers who move. And it disappears. And then after some time he comes. He tells, and I wrote about it, that seers move. Gikuyu seers move. The only problem is they lack vocabulary. He doesn't know whether he was in Andromeda galaxy, because he has no term for that, but he was in a place. Mm-hmm. When you ask him, who are you? I was in a very beautiful place. That's the end, because he's lacking vocabulary. Mm-hmm. Yes, it comes to a time when you feel you want to reach the Mars. You go to Mars, to the Mars.
With your spirit.
That's with the body.
With the body?
With the body. Uh-huh. But you have to wait.
But for that you need some technology also.
No, I'm talking about God's plan. Mm-hmm. Yes.
What is God's plan?
Is that one day you visit the stars. That's why they are there.
With your physical body?
With your physical body.
Without technology?
Not with technology. What technology has done is that it has, what do I say? Technology has tended to be faster than God will. Uh-huh. Because God would like you to go the way you are. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. If you want to reach that place, you just jump and be there.
But if we go with our physical body to Mars, for example, we cannot survive in this atmosphere without a suit or spacecraft. No?
What I said the brain is not functional as it is today. When the brain opens, it opens for many things. Mm-hmm. Beyond the ozone, you cannot survive.
Exactly.
You cannot survive more than 15 minutes because of the radiation there.
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking, because you were saying
that's why I'm now coming to this. Mm-hmm. Build the ozone. You can't survive for more than 15 minutes. You are all dead because of the radiation there. But the brain is growing. It's growing. It will reach to a point where the radiations will not be affecting you.
So we'll just become like kind of like so powerful, so indestructible because of our own power, that we can do things that today seem completely impossible.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
So that
Do you know that it's very interesting that this intelligence we have today was not with us before.
But in Egypt, for example, you said that we built the pyramid using this brain power, which today we don't have, or at least most of us don't have. So that means that before, at least in the time of Egypt, maybe there was a different age where people had more power.
The only problem is that even in the Egyptian pyramids were not constructed by our people. They were the sages. They were the sages.
The sages.
Yeah, the sages. And they were inducted. Why do you induct people? Is to conceal that wisdom. Because you're not supposed to go to each and everybody. It's just for very simple, minor people who conceal it. And that's why you're supposed to be simple. What's required of you is simplicity. Because definitely you are hiding something big for the society. Before, people are not intelligent. Till the time when radiation came and hit a woman. Before, children were born. Before children were born, just women used to give children, get birth just like animals, because the heads were very small. There came a time when the children's head became large, and women had to have problem when giving birth because of that brain. Brain had developed larger than naturally how it was planned. And definitely children became intelligent. So this will reach another stage where children will be born, because not we who are living, but we who are not born will be able now to fly. That's why 95% is not in use today, because God knows why.
What is the reason?
What is the reason? God knows why.
And also, what happened that suddenly the children started to have a bigger head and a bigger brain? That's like the missing link, because if they look at the skeletons and the archaeology, they see there was no missing link. Like at some point, people looked some way, and then immediately you have this change with the larger skull, larger brain. So what happened there?
Well, that's God. God knew. It is within His plan that people are going to be born this. I remember I wrote from in 21st century, children will be born very, very, very intelligent, because the brain will have developed. But I'm really talking to different people about it. People usually come to my place and ask, tell us, how would you feel that children will be born? Yes, I tell them. Children will be born with a very large brain. And that now, we're able now, even the computer now will be made, the most advanced computer will be in 2099. So everything is growing. The brain is growing, computer technology is growing, and the universe is growing.
Everything is
expanding.
Yeah. So if we go back to Egypt, before, in that time of the pyramids, were people less intelligent than today?
What I said is only a group. Even today, there are some very, very intelligent people today
That can do these things.
can do these things, but they are not aware of that.
They are not aware that they can do that.
Yeah, that's the
Because
problem.
they need to be taught.
Yeah, to be taught.
Yeah.
Yes, there are some very, very intelligent people, but yet they don't know they are intelligent.
Yeah.
That is one of the advantages of schools.
But today schools actually, in most cases, they diminish intelligence.
Yeah, but still the intelligent people are there. It doesn't matter where they are. But the problem is that they do not know they are intelligent. It's only taking them for 2 years, you just change the mindset, they become very intelligent. They're very intelligent.
So how can we do that? What kind of structure does a child like that need to unravel their intelligence?
Well, I don't know. The child won't know, and the parent won't know. That's the problem now. Two, don't think the governments we have are very good.
Solution for that.
Yeah, they are never for that. All countries in the world are ruled by crooks.
Yeah.
They are ruled by crooks.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why we said we need to bring the elders, the wisdom keepers, into the key positions.
Oh, they are king positions, yes.
Yeah.
Governments are run by crooks.
Yeah. So let me ask you, today we see a convergence of events that are very kind of dramatic, right? You see, we have a global communication network. We can communicate as a species throughout the whole world. We have the ecological crisis in a way that ecosystems have been and are being destroyed through development and technology. And then, the rise of the computers and the AI. It seems like a lot of events are converging into this time. How do you see this time and the future to come for humanity?
Let me tell you, when man discovered that to use a spear,
Can you say again?
to use a spear,
Uh-huh.
or to shoot with an arrow, it was terrible. Because they had very advanced technology, how to throw an arrow, or to throw a javelin, or to throw a spear. Because the world was young. It is still young now. You have talked about these things, but it's young.
It's still like the spear or the arrow.
Oh, it is we have gone nowhere. We have gone nowhere.
When we talk about magic, which is obviously a very traditional and important part in many cultures.
Traditionally, it is referred to as magic.
Yeah.
But in the modern world, we no longer refer it as magic. Physics.
Yeah. So it's the same. Magic is physics.
Yes, physics.
So if we see something...
Supposing you have seen an African elder on the tribal dancing, they usually put a bird feather on the head. What is that feather doing on the head? It is an antenna, because you are communicating to the spirit. But you have made a telephone mobile, and telephone mobile, it has an antenna. Yes. Who is more scientist than the other?
So are we losing our natural abilities because we're using the technology?
No, technology is there, but technology has been copied from cultures. Because all cultures globally are sciences. Whatever you see, before you comment, first of all, analyze what you're seeing. It will lead you to a science that has never been discovered. Yes. So when you talk of computers, you talk of global village, that's a village thing.
It's nothing. It's primitive.
It's primitive. There's a lot awaiting us.
So you say in the future, you see that people would travel with their spirits, with their minds, but not so much with technology like spacecrafts and things.
No, technology will be overcome by body, by personality. Personality will overcome technology. Why do I need to buy an airplane to fly to Mombasa? When I want to reach Mombasa, I'm in Mombasa.
Instantly.
Instantly. Yeah.
And that will happen naturally.
That is naturally.
And you say that some people you've seen can do that today.
Yes, they are there, but they are hiding. They don't know. Because if they are known, they are not around to survive.
Yeah.
That's the problem. If they are known they are there, they are not around to survive.
Yeah.
You saw the story of Jesus Christ. Herod knew that a new king was born. I want to go there and worship him, and he wanted to kill the child. This is the nature of
Kill the holy people.
Kill, not only the holy people, kill the intelligent people. Yes.
Yeah. Let me ask, coming to Africa, I was very intrigued about how Africa was before colonization, because it was obviously very different than how it is now. And I think a lot of people have this image of Africa from what they learned in society, that it was a primitive place and this and that. How do you reckon that Africa, the different cultures, kingdoms, what was here before colonization, basically?
It was a very peaceful continent with very intelligent people and living for long. They could live something beyond 100 years, around 100 years, because of the environment. They could live long, but unfortunately when colonialists came, like I give example of Kenya, when Britain took Kenya as a colony, they said simple, ordinary British people in England were not allowed to settle in Kenya. Only some of the top people with the money or related to royal blood in the UK and really rich people, they were the ones who were allowed to come to Kenya. Ordinary whites in UK were not allowed to come to Kenya. And if they came, they were repatriated back.
So just the elite, basically.
Yeah, only elite around in Kenya and the rich and the elite were allowed because they wanted to create an impression that a white man was special. He was rich, had money and authority. They did it intentionally.
So that the Africans feel that every white person is like an authority.
Oh yes, oh yes. Do you know white people are not allowed, even if he hears there's a commotion behind, they were not allowed to look behind. If they looked behind like that, well, it was reprimanded because they were made to feel that they don't fear. That's how we are treated by white people in this country.
Yeah.
That's how we are treated. But after Second World War, people realized in the Second World War, they were just there as any other person. They are not special. And that's how Mau Mau came. Mau Mau uprising.
That's how what?
Mau Mau revolt started when they realized who are white people.
Just the same.
Yeah. They are all equal. They are just the same. So Africa before colonization was a good place. And I don't know whether you'll be back there. Because unfortunately, all the natural resources are owned by the same country.
That colonized
Yes.
today.
The colonizers are all colonizers. They own the natural resources. Like what you have in Kenya, it belongs to UK. And that's why we are creating military bases. Not that they are wars, no, but to protect their minerals, the minerals in Africa. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why it cannot be stable. It is very hard to stabilize Africa. Because colonialists are just after minerals.
Yeah. They just want a piece of the action, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are things you tell people and you scare people for nothing. There is a feeling they feel. This is primarily our wisdom, our information, and not global. Because you see, when you talk of the 12 seers or 12 seeds or 12 elders in Mount Kenya, they are responsible people. They cannot give out, they cannot talk about things that will scare the humanity. They are exactly like the people who just like the War Council.
The what?
The War Council of a particular nation. And that council might be controlling nuclear arsenals. When you have that knowledge and you know you are sitting or you're studying on a, or that tightrope, there are things we are told. You have to be careful. They say, don't scare the children. Are we together?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we are told. Don't scare the children. Because you might say it is going to happen and it might take a longer duration to take place. Why do you scare people? That an earthquake is coming and is going to kill 100,000 people. That one, we are not allowed. I'm talking of Gikuyu sage. I'm not talking about sage in other countries.
Yeah.
There are some things we are told. We should not disseminate or tell to people because they go for what you call stability, the stable life. Stable life. They say, and it's good you have asked that, whatever happens, happens through the will of God. And nothing quick will take place, but yet you don't talk about. Only the king you could tell. But the people who are looking after the gods, some of this information they are not told.
Which is the same information like what you said about the star knowledge or the...
A star knowledge is not passed to the ordinary people. It's not the ordinary people.
What you said, the knowledge that you're not allowed to speak about, is about how the stars are affecting humans.
Yes, that's the thing, how they are affecting humans.
But mainstream astrology also speaks about how stars are affecting humans.
It is there, but still there are things still you don't talk. I'm talking about Kikuyu community. About Kikuyu community.
Different things in astrology that are not known to most people.
You see, when you come to astrology, is you are inclined more to the star and the living soul. And when you're doing it in Africa, it means in between the living and the star, there are spirits.
Between
you run astrology from the Kikuyu point of view because from the personality to the star, there is a spirit.
From the
So we breathe. A star has no power. Is empowered by the spirit.
by our spirit,
By our forefather spirit, dead people,
our ancestors.
ancestors. In between that star and the living soul is a spirit.
The spirits,
Yes.
the ancestors.
Yes, spirit of ancestor.
Can you talk a little bit more about your initiation or when you learned the times where you were educated by the Gikuyu elders? How was that? What are kind of the things that you discovered?
There are other things that I could not really talk to open to because we are having problem today. Global. It is not really Kenya problem. It is global problem. Because you remember when I talked of the way I was inducted, they went and made that they created a Black
Panther.
having not coming to me and asked me, how are you inducted?
So
They
yeah.
just told the whole thing.
Just to give a little context, your book, Secrets of the Holy Mountain, that's the name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was used to create...
It is the one that created the Black Panther.
Yeah, the Marvel blockbuster, the Black Panther.
Yes.
And now
We're talking about African culture, African spiritualism, because humanity started from Africa. And Egypt was the college. All the seers were trained in Egypt. What they took in Greece, they stole. They went to Alexandria. They took all the,
things from Egypt.
from Egypt. They took them to Greece. After then, they translated that into Greek, and then they signed that they were the owners of the work. No. It all came from Africa. Even what we are doing in Asia today, what they are learning in Asia, it is started from Africa.
Yeah.
That's why you see, Hindu religion is encyclopedia of all religions in the world. Everything is there.